I hit the button, Matt. We're live.
Holy! Hi everyone. Welcome to another edition of Stack Your Live. We've got like changes to things going. RJ went with a very David Bowie theme this week. Speaking of RJ, how are you?
I'm well, Matt. I went to the dentist today. That was super fun. They gave me like a really nice Sonicare toothbrush as part of my visit. I am spending a significant amount of money to fix my teeth. So it may just be like, here. It's like, when you have a very expensive meal and then they bring you out like a tiny dessert that they comp for you. Um, but all in all, had a good day. And it's Thursday. We're here. I'm very excited.
There you go. Very nice. I am my partner. Hey John. Howdy everyone.
I'm just going through people.
Yep.
Continue.
Hey James. Hope all is well. So my partner, like an hour before we were supposed to hop on, was like, "Hey, can you edit a video for me?" And proceeds to send me a 12-minute video broken up via Messenger, not Facebook Messenger, but like Apple messages, text messages, basically. So it cuts the video into like 4 parts. I'm afraid of the world as well. I'm afraid I can't help it. Sorry. Don't make me go down those rabbit holes. Anyway, so it came in 4 parts. So I'm like using Descript to try and stitch it together for her YouTube channel. And she is not doing credit cards. She is doing like homebody stuff, free thrifting. Like she has it in her head that eventually we'll do a homestead, and just no.
I can't. So I have said this before. I am from the country. Like I am from the real, honest to goodness country. My grandfather was a beef and a pig farmer. That is how they like made their money and raised their children and all of that. I know a lot of farmers. I know a lot of homesteaders. Matt, I've known you for going on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see you homesteading or farming. I can't go there with you.
I keep getting sent Facebook reels of like, as soon as your partner asks to start doing a sourdough starter, congratulations, you're a homesteader now. As soon as she gets that right, congratulations. You don't know it yet, but you're a homesteader. Because as soon as she figures out the sourdough, then she's going to ask you for chicks. And well, chicks are going to need a coop. And then you're going to go out and build a coop. Congratulations, you work construction now. And then, she'll just ask for a goat. And that's why I have a goat. And I'm like, no, absolutely not.
I kind of want to see you around a goat. Just because.
No, and like she's trying to give all of the classic reasons of like, oh, but like if we had goats, then like the yard will take care of itself.
That is not how goats work.
Absolutely not. No, maybe sheep. Yeah, I mean,
Not
ding,
how
ding,
sheep
ding,
work.
ding, 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 ding.
So here's the thing with animals. They require constant care. Like it's not, you don't just like pen them in your yard and things go fine. Like that's not how it works.
I see John is making jokes, but I already am. Thank you. Do you need credit cards as a homesteader? Probably, because you got to go out and buy the stuff. I would have serious need for a home improvement category, but no, we're not doing that. But if y'all are interested in her exploits, cooking, rethrifting, not at all credit card related in any way, shape, or form, but she mentions me from time to time. Duds by Dola is her YouTube channel. So there you go. Got that out 4 minutes in. So we can stop talking about me homesteading.
We can. And my internet is now fixed because I switched to the one I should have been on after I restarted my computer and just didn't put myself on. Because we have 2 internet channels and my computer will hook to one. Regardless of which one I want it on, it will hook to the opposite one. regardless, just will.
Yep.
So I am back. Hello, everyone. Matt, John, I will give you a golf clap for that. Um, we have a couple of things to talk about, Matt. What do
Sure
you
do.
want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about AI and credit cards? Do you want to talk about Discover, or do you want to talk about Hyatt? I will let you select the door we walk through first.
Show me the AI door first, because
Okay.
I have a hard time believing in the term AI, but
So I have paid subscriptions to ChatGTP, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity. I am not somebody like I don't work in tech professionally at all, but I
Mhm.
listen to basically every Apple related or tech related podcast you can listen to. Um, at least the main ones, right? So
Yeah.
I am interested in how AI is sort of being used to customize things that didn't used to be customizable for most people. Um, one of those things is applications, right? Like we all know there are a lot of financial related apps out there, and not every one of them is sort of set up to be able to customize to the person, right? Like if you use card pointers or if you use Max Rewards or whatever, you're going into an app somebody else created, their ideas of how it works, their sort of priorities, their non-priorities. Excuse me. Um, so I was really interested because I have the Claude package that's gives you quite a bit of headroom. I was interested in what if I take the spreadsheets that I sort of already have and already work off of, and I tried to appify them. Like I have a GitHub account. Like, what if I basically took these sort of spreadsheets, these ideas of what I wanted, and I turned them into apps? And I spent a total of about 5 to 6 hours, and I turned 4 of my spreadsheets into apps, and they work. And they work really well. Now they are incredibly basic. Um, but what it does, and I'm going to send Matt a screenshot of one without a ton of proprietary information um, on it because privacy. I'm going to give you this screenshot. Give me just a second. And what I'm going to do is have Matt show you one of them just to show you like not so much like what I did, but sort of what is possible, right? And what I found was it was pretty easy to do, right? Like I did one and the one I sent Matt is card optimization. Um, and what I did is I basically set it up where I can put my cards in, I can put the categories and the multipliers in, and then I can pick a thing, right? I can pick one of the spending categories. And I even put it in so like I can put the amount of the purchase and it will tell me like how many points I would get if I used the quote best card for it. And if you like for travel, if you click the down arrow by the green map for
Uh,
travel, nope,
sorry.
where it says travel and it says green up, any of the down arrows work. I was just going over where it
Oh,
says green. Yep, right there.
yeah. So this is
Oh,
just
it's
the
a
screenshot.
screenshot. I'm sorry. Oh, it's been a day. But anyway, like if you drop these down, it shows you the actual like cards in order because I have it set up where I have a cent per point for each of them. So like I can do that math off of what I want, right? And maybe I bump something down because I'm not prioritizing that. So even if it's a quote high cent per point, if I'm not prioritizing that at the moment, it's just not going to come up as the number one. So basically, what I think is interesting, and you've done this, you haven't done this with apps, but you've done it with large language models to run like terms through or dense information through. Um, and what I think is interesting is like the ability to sort of use these tools for credit cards. Like I've put the here's my cards, give me my best setup, and they all roughly just do what Reddit would say. Like, because that's sort of like they're going to recommend the preferred or they're going to recommend the platinum or whatever, right? Like if I say certain things, I can make them say the card I want them to say. Um, but the actual like going through terms or creating an app that is sort of what you want it to be without needing something like a subscription, without needing something that you don't have control over. So if I wanted this to be different, if I wanted the cash value, for example, or if I wanted something else, I could just program it in with Claude, right? Like I can control all of that, and you can take it down now if you want. But the basics of it, I think, are super interesting. Being able to have that control in a way that was not accessible before. I did one for credits. I have a lot of cards with credits. I was subscribing to apps simply to have those cards and those credits in the app where I could go and select them. Now I have my own app where I have credits that are much easier to track based on how I've laid it out, because I've laid it out in the way that makes sense to me. So I'm interested, Matt, what do you think about sort of using AI with credit cards? What do you think about sort of this stuff in general?
I think the coding your own application is sort of intriguing for sure. I'm like, if you're just doing it for yourself, that's great. Even if you're doing it for like yourself and a couple, like I'm sure if you wanted to, you could point people to your GitHub repo and shareware it if you so chose. If folks find any real, if folks find value in it, I do think that using LLMs to simplify your terms and conditions or make sure that can break down in a more elementary way your travel protections, your all of those things. I think that's a great use of LLMs. Turning your turning your spreadsheets into living, breathing applications, not bad at all. I mean, we're seeing ads now for like Base 44, another company that does this sort of thing. That's like, hey, just give this a few prompts and you can build an app in 30 or 40 seconds. So that's interesting. I do wonder how far is potentially too far, but like
that is too far. That is
Yeah.
that Patty, the open AI powered chatbot in the headset of the people at Burger King, is too far. That I think we can agree on.
Sure. I have a hard time with OpenAI. I'm using GPT a ton. I use it to help me with my descriptions, rewrite my descriptions, things like that. I use it for thumbnails and the like the caricature of me that you now see on my videos is largely GPT rendered, which is fine. I think that's a fair use case for me. I do like it's not the end of the world, nor is it really the beginning. I don't know. I think if you have use for it, great. I do think that like other folks could definitely get some use out of it, just to have like a simplified app that can better visualize what you're doing, because looking at spreadsheets all day long is annoying, right?
It does.
That is why we have the pivot table. That is why we have that's why like business intelligence software became so big so quickly, like Power BI and stuff like that. Although Power BI needing its own language is kind of hilarious. So I think it's interesting. I think it's a cool use case for you for sure. I do think that a lot of folks, it's going to be what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still going to keep a lot of stuff to, hey, can you review the Sapphire Reserve's travel protection terms for me? Because I have this, once in a lifetime trip, and I need to make sure that, I know the process in case anything fucks up. We're 15 minutes in, so sorry about that, guys. Make sure, explain it to me like I'm 5. Explain my insurance to me like I'm 5. And LLMs can do that, which is great. So those use cases are great. If this works for you, great. If others want to utilize your work, I'm sure you'd have no problem sharing that. I think it's intriguing. I think it's entertaining. I do wonder if it'll like be a problem for like everybody's building their own churning related things. Like, here's my 524 counter on steroids. Or sorry, my Chase marketing counter on steroids.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between the private use and like shipping it, right? Like
Yeah.
I gave one of the links to Tariq just as like, hey, see if this works for you. Like, see if you like it.
Yeah. And you gave me one as
So
well. And I was poking
I gave
around
you
with
one
it.
as well. And I think that's a fine use case. Like if somebody in the Discord like DM'd me and was like, hey, can I have one of the links? I'd probably say fine, right? What I think is a problem is when people who make something as simple as what I made then put it in the app store and start charging people for it. Right? Like I think those are separate lanes and we need to be careful of that. But to your point, like I look at spreadsheets all day. Having an app that auto updates things for me based on information I put in, right? Being able to pick a category and how much I'm going to spend and just see the point total, right? Like that basic math is nicer in an interface on my browser than it is in a Excel sheet or a number sheet because I'm on Macs, right? Like it's just nicer to look at. It's sort of like you can use terminal or you can put a GUI on top.
Yeah.
Right? Like
and GUIs always help.
Right. So I think that to me is what it is, right? It's terminal, which is the spreadsheet versus putting that nice finish on it. So it's just a little easier to look at. Definitely not charging for any of these because they just shouldn't be. They're nowhere near and no telling how long I would support like actually updating or if something breaks fixing. And there's like the exit buttons on these don't work. You just have to tap off of it. So like there are things like that would drive me crazy if I was actually to give these to a wide variety of people. I would have to fix. But I do think the ability to just go in and make a thing that works with your brain for credit cards could be really helpful for people. Because how many Reddit posts or whatever are on sort of the apps that everybody knows? And like these don't have browser extensions. There's a lot of things they don't, but they want a super simple thing, right? They want to be able to track their credits or whatever. And you can entirely make that in Claude.
Yeah.
So.
And you could just give folks the repo. Like if you wanted to stop supporting it, you could just like in the repo say, hey, here's the prompts to just like have it auto update.
Right.
And in like a year and a half, Claude will be strong enough to auto update, depending on how much you want to like trust Anthropic.
It can also already push it out. Like if I say, hey, do this and then push it, it can auto, like, because I have my GitHub hooked, it can auto push that, right? So it doesn't even need me to do a terminal command for it. So I didn't want to go super deep into this, but I do think we're going with as much as companies are pushing AI. It's definitely, and it's fun. Like it's fun to be able to do it. Everything is manual though, right? Because I don't have like a credit card website I can point it to and say, here is everything on every credit card. Just copy this and like base everything off of that. Like the nice part is though, it is manual. So if I wanted something at 2.5, if I wanted the built card to be 3x and everything right now, because I have the points boost on, I can manually do that where in other apps, it can be really, really hard to change something as fundamental as the catch-all, right? So it's cool. It's fun. I'm going to do more experimenting with it. I have like I said, I have the Claude with enough headroom to be able to play with stuff. So, but yeah, that was the AI spiel I had for tonight. More to come though. I think there'll be a lot more to come going forward.
There you go. Cool.
Hyatt or Discover, Matt?
Hyatt has actual bones to it, and like when we get to the discover portion of things, just um, how certain are we that the Hyatt changes? So the Hyatt changes have been marked for May, but I don't think it's before the 15th. So I think you're good for your next Rakuten payout. I don't have the exact date for when all the Hyatt changes are going into effect, but um, yeah, it's you should be good for the next Rakuten payout for sure.
So I
Probably.
can, in theory, the problem is it's not going to have everything, right? Like I can try, I might try to point it to the Amex website, but that's a lot of things for it to parse that I don't know how well it would parse. Um, Baggage damage claim, always fun. 855 for the luggage wheel. Nice. Yeah. 855. They're not going to.
So Sleep has been on this. You've been in my comments on it. Like, I don't think Chase customers are justifying a 1.5 catch-all anymore. I haven't noticed too many folks being like, "Oh yeah, 1.5 is totally fine," because Hyatt at this point. Like a lot of folks have been starting to clamor. Like, well, I know that I've been clamoring. I know that Lonnie's been clamoring. I know that Spencer's been clamoring. Um, a lot of other creators are moving away from Chase and moving away from Amex and are all joining the City bandwagon for reasons. Um, I don't think you can justify a 1.5x catch-all, but like it's not like if Chase goes to 2, what difference does 2 make compared to 1.5? Yeah, it's half a point more. I think we're going to see more emphasis on like I think Hyatt's going to put more emphasis on Hyatt. I think there's still a lot that's going to happen in the not too distant future.
So $10,000 of spend on the difference between a 1.5 and a 2 is 500 points.
Yeah, $5.
Like, just like I think they should have a 2x card? Yes. Do I think Amex should have a 2x card? Also, yeah, a personal 2x card. Also, yes. But like, we have to be somewhat like, I get it. Nobody wants to put anything on a 1x card. I get it. But also, the difference between 1 and 2 for most things is not as much as we try to make it out at times, right? Again, I don't put things on 1x I shouldn't like I don't put things on 1x that I can put on a 2x. But at the end of the day, for most people, most of the time, it's not gonna get as bad as we pretend it is.
Yeah. There must be more. Otherwise, it's almost a betrayal to the Hyatt loyalists. I don't know that we're um Hyatt will still take care of their loyalists. Like we still don't know what a premium World of Hyatt card looks like. Um, they're not going to slap the globalist onto a credit card of any sort, and I don't think they're going to give the Sapphire Reserve globalist or explorist. But like we'll just have to see what else is coming. Like I know a status to the Sapphire is coming to the Sapphire cards. To what extent I don't know, and we don't even know what a World of Hyatt card, a premium World of Hyatt card looks like. Because if a premium World of Hyatt card gives you just a base of 2, that becomes a lot of folks' primary card if they're going to be that dedicated to World of Hyatt.
Or like it's a trash fire. I don't think anybody should, but like builds 2x everything for the Palladium.
Yeah.
And they still transfer to Hyatt.
Yeah. For now.
For now. But like, you know what I mean? Like it is
Yeah.
still like there are ways to get 2x, but again, 10,000 in spend is 500 points.
Yeah.
The difference between 1.5 and 2.
Yeah.
So like, should they be at 2? Yeah, I think everybody should be at 2. But I also think that like Chase not going to 2, like again, they're the biggest credit card issuer in the world or in the country at least. Like they don't care because it's not hurting their bottom line. Okay. Let's talk about this, Matt. What is your take on the 5-level system and the upper end going as high as they are? I think I made the comment to you that it's dynamic light. I have meant to watch your video. I just work has been a bear. I have not gotten to see your video to know for sure what you think.
So introducing 5 bands, 5 redemption levels per category is stupid.
Yes.
They're not doing themselves any favors with that. I think they're trying so desperately to cling on to the award chart, and I can understand why they want to cling on to the award chart. If the award chart is so unfeasible that you have to have now 40 redemption levels in the award chart, because it's 5 levels per band, there's 8 categories, you have 40 options. That's before the all-inclusives, that's before the Miraval. So it's just 40 on the hotels. If you need 40 levels of redemption, just go to dynamic pricing. Like, it doesn't make sense to do that. Or just say category 1s are now from this level to this level, depending on who
Market
knows.
factors.
Yeah. Because we all know, like, they're promising a slow transition, they're promising this, they're promising that. The problem is going to be that, like, in year 2, right, all of the hotels that are going, there's currently no listed restrictions of, like, a hotel can't go to top, which is the highest level redemption. Nothing is going to force, there's no enforcement of a category 7 or category 8 just listing all of their nights as either upper or top, the top 2 levels of redemption in the second year of this launching. Like, it's not going to, there, with no controls, it doesn't make sense, right? And I think Hyatt is trying so desperately to still be like, oh, well, we've got the award chart and everything, follow the award chart and everything will be honky-dory. Reasonable redemption values are going to plummet. And I don't know if this is because of a flood of points from Built. I don't know if this is because of just basic macroeconomic factors over the last 10 years or over the last 5 years since they introduced the chart. I don't know if this is because of the ink train and points inflation from Chase, that Chase has suddenly stopped, but now Hyatt has to institute this because there's still far too many Chase points out there. I don't know what the impetus of this was, but I'll tell you this much right now. The card that was rumored last week that turned out to be a fake, apparently, whatever. And the category changes were far better for customers than what they've launched this week. Like, introducing category 9, category 10, oh, how dare they? You still would have only had 30 redemption options.
I'm gonna ask a question as somebody who is not a huge Hyatt fan. Like, I think their hotels are fine, but, like, the program is just not mine, right? Does it matter? And what I mean by that is, like, if I wanna go to Seattle, right? And I'm gonna book a hotel, I check Hyatt, I check Hilton, I check IHG, I check Marriott, I check Rove, I check Delta, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's 32,000 points, like, I'm like, oh, that seems high. Let me check, my plan B or my plan C or whatever, right? Okay, that one is 60, but I have, 500,000 Hilton points. That one's 45. I have 300,000. I'm just making these numbers up, guys. Like, this is what the price is. Like, are we just being mad online? Like, I get it. I agree that it matters that they're raising the upper end. That I will concede matter. But, like, the level inside of it, does that actually matter? Or are we just, because they gave us such clear math, we are fixated on that math instead of being like, okay, it ranges from here to here. This is in a super popular city that is, like, if it's, Seattle, New York City, Austin, whatever, where there's always something going on. So there's always a convention, there's always a festival, there's always whatever. It's going to be at the top end, right? Like, I feel like it doesn't matter the way we're saying it. Like, it matters that they raise the top end. It doesn't matter how many levels the hotel can go. You just look it up and see how many points it is.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's gonna matter too much at the end of the day. Like, so
Thank you for the memberships. We appreciate it.
thank you, SJDP. I think like a lot of what was driving Hyatt value was I don't know if it was a lot of what was driving Hyatt value was, hey, I'm getting awesome redemption value on a category 3 or category 4. A lot of folks would be, seemingly highlighting a lot of the stuff that I would do quick point redemptions on were like category 2s when I'm getting like 1.6, 1.9 cents per point. Like I wasn't even getting a full 2 cents per point with Hyatt. It was just significantly fewer points out of my pool of points to have a night that was catered to with points, right? The same, don't have much value. I always consider the cash stays first. Yeah, but there are always times where like I didn't want to pay cash that night. And if I didn't want to pay cash, it was easier to go to a Hyatt than to go to a Hilton because the Hyatt place that I would just dump 9,000 points on a weekend would be, 45, 50,000 points out of Hilton. And while Hilton points are exceedingly easier to earn, dumping 50,000 for a night at a hotel that costs like $170 didn't feel right. When I could do the same 150 for like 6,000 points or 9,000 points.
I did my my 10 questions with, and I did Tariq last night. And one of the points that was brought up there is like, I really do wonder, like, if you look at how much it takes to make a Hyatt point happen and you look at what it takes to make a Hilton point happen, and I'm talking like on their co-brands, right? I'm not talking about like booking an airline flight with the Sapphire Reserve and getting 8x, right? Like I'm talking with their co-brand cards. If you look at what it takes to make 10,000 Hyatt points versus 50,000 Hilton points, I do wonder if it works out where it's not that far from the same, but our brains look at 50,000 versus 9,000 and don't take the effort into account.
Yeah. I think that's doesn't cause a 67% increases in regards to the question above about the ink chain and all the others. I don't know. But as a total outsider to Hyatt, do these changes also affect? We don't know if they change if they're going to change the cash prices. Right now, it's just the point redemption value. So, like, the cash prices could also increase accordingly. Like, we don't know the full extent of it, and like, it's on the hotel. Like, the hotels get to control what the cash price is.
But we also don't know how much they're like. I agree with you that there is nothing stopping them in the second year from going up and just staying in those top 2 bands.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe the cash prices are much more dynamic than the points prices.
Because when Marist graduation, Marist move-in, and Marist homecoming are happening, the Hyatt place that I will stay at like jumps to like $400 a night, and that is not a $400 a night hotel.
No, but we also we don't know that most of them aren't going to stay in that second, third, and fourth band most of the time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like the hotels will do it out of the goodness of their heart, but like on a random Tuesday in February, probably not going to go to the highest tier, right? Like,
no, but I also don't think that they're going to do that they're all going to stay at lowest. Like,
Oh
I
gosh,
don't
no,
think
I think
any
1 in
hotel is
5 are
going to
gonna
be.
be the rarest. I think 1
Yeah,
in 5 will be the rarest. It'll be the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th one.
yeah.
I love my Sony XM6s. They are currently packed because I am leaving tomorrow for a trip. So I packed everything. So that's why I don't have my mic on either, because that's also packed because I'll be recording while I'm gone. So both. I really do enjoy both. But no, I get why a Hyatt fan is really, really unhappy. I do genuinely understand why they're unhappy. I just think we don't have enough to know how it's actually going to affect prices. Just because hotels can boost it doesn't mean they're going to, simply because they want people to book, right? Like, I don't know if I agree that they're going to be in the higher bands almost all the time. I don't, because I think they want people to stay at their hotels. And if they try that, they're just not going to get people staying there as often as they are now. Again,
Yeah.
they might. Like, greed is a hell of a drug, but I don't know that that is going to happen because people will simply just opt out.
Yeah. But like what this signals, or the signals that I'm getting from this, is that having status is going to matter a lot more with Hyatt. And by status, I mean not discoverist, I mean explorist and globalist is going to matter a
Yeah.
lot more. And having a World of Hyatt card is going to matter almost as much as having those levels of status. I think I think they're still going to cater to globalists. Um, whoa. I think they're still going to cater to globalists for sure. Where like one of the things that they announced the other day was that the ability to book points bookings will be made like available to explorers, globalists, and cardholders earlier than regular than most other folks. And with that, like I think globalists will get more time to do that than
Mhm.
explorers and card holders. But I also think that I think that we're getting at least one new card before May. I think we're getting potentially a refresh on the $95 card to become a 150 card. I think they're going to make
Mhm.
some tweaks to the business card. And I'm certain that we're getting at least one card. We could get two or three because
Mhm.
they could do a 150 card. They could do a no annual fee card.
Yeah.
Um, that like gives you Discoverist Light. That doesn't just give you Discoverist, but like gives you 5 nights and another way to more easily get to more easily get to Discoverist. I think we're gonna get a premium card. I think we'll get a premium business card, and I think we'll get updates on the personal card to go to 150 and the business card potentially staying where it is at 199 or going up to 250 or 300.
I also think, and this is something that gets lost because of who's talking about it, Hyatt clearly wants to grow their loyalty program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't do this unless you want to grow the loyalty program. Like, that means opening things up, right? Like, that
Yeah.
means allowing people to get more points and status and to have people get status more. And that is going to devalue the status that people currently have because other people will get it easier or get it in a different environment. I'm not entirely sure, Keith, what point
Yeah.
you were
So
pointing this point at.
when you redeem the point, so like the thinking would be like corporate is going to keep more of the like value of the points than passing them on to the hotel, but it the hotel will still get theirs if they increase the price. Um, Potentially the Avengers. Yeah, I would assume that Lifetime Globalists would be at the front, but like distinction without a difference. Like, yes, they're going to cater to the globalists first, be it Lifetime or not. By Forbes on YouTube, sounded like Hyatt adding and creating experiences people can redeem using points at luxury properties. They probably will. A spa at the being able to use your points to pay for the spa at the Park Hyatt would make a lot of sense. Using your points to redeem at Baha Mar would make a lot of sense. Using your points to redeem at they just bought into 2 big all-inclusives in the Caribbean. 2 big all-inclusive chains would make a lot of sense. Dining experiences at the standard hotels would make a lot of sense, or bunkhead hotel, bunkhead hotels. I don't know.
I don't know. I imagine they're going to, if they introduce more than one card, they're going to have to function similarly in like they're never going to have Hilton's multipliers.
No.
They'll probably be closer to Marriott in terms of multiplier numbers, but I don't even think they're going to get that high.
No, but what you'll probably see is the top end card, whatever the top end card ends up being, the highest end card will give you Explorist. No card from Hyatt will likely give you Hyatt's highest tier status. They'll make it easier to get to the highest tier status, but I don't think it's that they're ever gonna give you a card that gives you globalist straight up. From there, like if that top card is going to give you Explorist, then like the 150, assuming that the 95 card goes to 150, that card's still going to give you Discoverist. And if they add a card at no annual fee, I don't think it's going to give you straight up Discoverist, but it's going to give you like enough nights to sort of qualify, or quicker ways to qualify for Discoverist relatively quickly, or just give you Discoverist light type capabilities.
So, I mean, Chase is Chase, right? Like, I think there are ways to find value in Chase that aren't Hyatt. Hyatt is the one that gets talked about because the credit card community is obsessed with paying the least amount of points possible in raw number, regardless of how much effort it takes to earn those points.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if as many credit card people would be into Hyatt if creators didn't hype Hyatt up.
So, little theory that I've got percolating, and I mentioned it in Luke's live before we came on live. Chase is going to start investing more into the travel portal, and they're going to make the travel portal a big way of getting value and in strengthening their ecosystem. They just added Wyndham as a transfer partner. Not that Wyndham's like the greatest be all end all of transfer partners, but like what Chase I think is going to do is turn their travel portal into the best way to book hotels out of any travel portal in the game, be it Expedia, Booking, Rove, disclaimer, Kayak, whatever, right? They're going to give you the ability. They're going to try to be exclusively the only travel portal that booking directly through them will get you all of your status recognized at any hotel chain that you book, that they have available to you. And I think that's the play that they're going to make, because they know that they can't always rely on their partners to be the driving force for value going forward. It may be a weak ecosystem or a weakened ecosystem, but they're going to push to get points boost more of a thing. They're going to push to make it as rewarding as they can and still be feasible for them, because something like earning 8 times points per dollar, having all of your status recognized on like small time cash bookings, and being able to transfer those 8 times points per dollar. Yes. That's the disclaimer.
I just want to make us legal for corporate.
We are corporate.
I know. I wanted to make us legal for corporate, Matt.
That's fair. Carissa doesn't care. She's happy with us.
I care.
That's fine.
Go continue with your point.
Yeah, so they're gonna make this the go-to place for hotels. They're gonna make this the go-to place for redeeming. They're gonna make this, your point redemption in the travel portal for flights being a cash booking will help you with status with those flights is like kind of a plus, but they're they're recognizing that they can't rely on the Hyatts of the world. They can't rely on United. They can't rely on straight up airline partners and hotel partners to be the driving force to get their card. They're going to lean into their travel portal to be the driving force for you to stay in the ecosystem. Hey, Chad. Um, because Hyatt will devalue. Everyone will devalue. At least with them, they're going to make sure that 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 they're going to come out at least further a little bit ahead. Um, like they're going to push into points boost. They're going to push into adding as many hotel partners as they can. I think the impetus for them adding hotel partners is going to be starting the push to book in Chase Travel outside of the edit. I think they're going to make a big push for you to be able to do a lot of hotel bookings and have those be meaningful hotel bookings going forward.
I don't think that most people with a medium to casual relationship with Hyatt care. Like, I have a friend of mine who I work with who's into credit cards, who stays at a lot of Hyatts. I told her about this and she's like, yeah, okay. Like, and this is a person who like has credit cards, got Delta Reserve, does a lot of traveling, huge fish fan, like will follow fish around the country.
So much
Um,
weed.
yeah. Anyway, like we care a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
Chase is the biggest issuer of credit cards in the country. Like, I would say 80% of people with a Chase card, this information did not either change anything about what they're going to do or change the fact that they're going to hold the cards they hold. So, what I mean by that is like, we don't have a mechanism to put pressure on Chase to change it. Like, we don't have unless people just stop using the Freedom Unlimited, we don't have the ability to just press a lever and make them change things. They're too big. Like, yeah, the Sapphire changes, they were trying to get people, but that's an $800 annual fee. Like, unless people start closing their Sapphire over Hyatt changes, like there's no mechanism for that. And that's what I think is, it puts people in a tough place, but so many people who even like Hyatt a lot, this doesn't move the needle for them.
I do think that Chase and United are going to do their best Amex Delta impersonation, but I think that's going to be regardless of Hyatt. I don't think they're announcing that anytime soon, but it will get announced over the course of the day. Not the course of the day, Jesus, the course of the year.
Yeah. And yeah, they're the points range that we want has to change. Like, just like if I want to buy a carton of eggs today, it's a different price than it was 5 years ago. Like, do I like that? No. I still need eggs. I like a nice French omelet.
They're fine.
French omelet, like you whisk the eggs and then you pass them through a strainer so they're super silky when you put them in a pan and some butter. Oh, that's so good, Matt.
You're just being bougie at this point.
I do. I whisk and then strain all of my eggs when I make an omelet. Like, that is not even me exaggerating. That is how I make an omelet.
But I do think that the Hyatt changes, I think the Hyatt changes are going too far. I think they are unwilling to face the music that they should just go dynamic if this is the way they're going to process like this is the way they're going to approach it. It's dynamic in all but name. And
But if it's dynamic in all but name, why would they go dynamic? Because they can still say they have the they can still say they have the awards chart. but functionally they're dynamic. So is it not the best of both worlds from them as corporate?
From them as corporate to be disingenuous, yeah, it's the best of both worlds, but it's still being absolutely disingenuous.
Right. But okay. And like, do I think they should just go dynamic? Yes. Does it bother me that they're doing this and still saying it's an award chart? No. It bothers me what they're doing, but it doesn't bother me because they have an awards chart and they call it an awards chart when it's really basically dynamic. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, how many of those Cat 7s and Cat 8s are you going to?
With Keith, he might go to a fair bit.
Plausibly.
The royal you is I think much smaller. But it goes back to, and Kid is in the chat, like he and his wife wanting to go to all the Waldorfs, right? Like,
yeah.
If you want to do something like that with Hyatt, or go to a Hyatt in one of each of the category levels, like it does change your math, but points are not worth what they are today, what they were 5 years ago. $1 isn't worth today what it was 5 years ago.
No. And yeah, anything in New York City is basically Cat 6 or above, but I don't know. I'm annoyed with the way that Hyatt is handling this, for sure. But I do think that there is a lot more that is going to come out before May. It's February. They said that this is going to take effect in May. They said that the category changes that typically happen now and in March are happening in April. I think there is plenty of breadcrumbs around to see that there are more major announcements coming from Hyatt and Chase in the not too distant future. And as much as I don't want to be the one to say it, let them cook. We gotta wait it out.
Keith, I'm doing real-time fact checking. If you said category 5 and above, you would be correct, but there are a lot of category 5s.
In New York City?
There's a couple, there's a couple outside, but there's actually, at least from looking this up for the random date I picked, a decent amount of 5s. But
So,
your point overall still stands.
Yeah. And I think most of the ones on Manhattan Island are category 6 and above. But I think the Resorts World, that's Hyatt by JFK, I think that's a category 5. I want to say that Thompson is category 5 on Manhattan, but it's more likely a category 6. The Dreams Hotel is definitely a category 6. The Beekman, a Thompson Hotel, is definitely category 6. The Standards hotels
it does
are all
not
category 6.
actually matter. But
Yeah.
my point is, if you want to go to New York City, it is not just 6 and above. Like, there are options. Like, I'm going to Staten Island in 2 weeks for family
Richmond
things.
County shouldn't be counted as New York City. Richmond County should just be sold.
Yes. But my point is, like, there are options. It depends on how far away from things you're willing to say. Also, like, Hyatt's footprint is small. Like, they run a different game than everybody else. But no, like, I don't like that they're going. I don't like the direction they're going, but calling it an awards chart when it's baby dynamic, that is the part that bothers me the least. What this is actually going to do, I think, is the worst part. No, but no credit card company should. Like, I like Amex because I can do things with their points. Like, I'm not hopelessly devoted to Amex. Like, I'm not Sandy from Greece.
1.5 catch-all doesn't make a big difference, but Chase doesn't even give that to their customers, specifically after Hyatt deval. Let's take the Hyatt deval out of it for now. Like, Chase should not have blind loyalty. I don't think Chase has blind loyalty. I think Chase and Hyatt have the working relationship that they have and have had. But like, blind loyalty would have been like Chase interceding and suing Hyatt for agreeing to align with Built in the first place. And that wouldn't even be blind loyalty. That would have just been ruthless business. And Chase would have been the bad guy
I
for
think
doing
they
that.
mean blind loyalty, like from
From
customers
customers
to Chase.
Most of them, like 99.9%. Sorry, I'll say a full 1% of Chase cardholders are in this game for gamification purposes. 99% of their customers do not care about travel the way that we care about travel. That number is different for Amex, but that number is just as small for Citi, and that number is probably just as small for Capital One.
I mean, Amex is different because their primary business is credit cards.
Yes.
And being a payment network. Like, they just play a different game. Like, I don't think that customers should give Chase blind loyalty, but I also think, like, there are a lot of people who are loyal to United that don't stay in Hyatts that have Chase cards and are using their Chase cards to transfer to United. I'm not just talking Lonnie, right? Like, they want to issue more, but United still issues a fair number of credit cards in their own right. I would guess there are probably more United credit cards than there are Hyatt credit cards by a decent size.
By a pretty healthy margin. Yeah, for sure.
But I don't like that they're boosting the top. I agree that the top end boosts are too high. But they also, until I see it implemented, I don't know how high it should have been.
Look, here's the lovely thing, right? No matter what the number is for a Hyatt redemption, it does not cross 6 figures per night.
Right.
Like that is the thing that y'all are, that, you know, the Hyatt fanboys of the audience get to still hang their hat on. Like, yeah, $75K a night is still a pain, but there are hotels in the Hilton ecosystem that are 4 times that for a night. There are hotels in the Marriott ecosystem that are 4 times that for a night. There are hotels in the IHG system that are 3 or 4 times that for a night. Well, I don't know if they go up to 300,000 a night. So, but I know that there are a few that go above 100,000.
I mean, there are Hilton hotel rooms you can book, and they are 1.2 million points a night.
Yeah.
That is a lot for the math people out there. That is a lot.
Yeah, and without chicanery, getting to earning 1 million points in a year is hard. Again, without chicanery. There's plenty of chicanery you can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of it's going to depend on how it's implemented, right? Like, if hotels stick to that 2, 3, 4 band most of the time, then this might be a non-factor. If all of them immediately go to 5 the moment they can, it's going to be a huge factor, right? And I think because I think all of the 4 major ones, the brands don't really own the hotels. They own either none or a very, very small amount. So, like, a lot of this comes down to the individual owner and how much they're involved and how much they really want to turn the screws. Like, this is not like, you know, the president of Hyatt is not like setting the price every night for the Hyatt hotels. Like, that's the individual owners. So some are going to be a lot more reasonable than others, right? Like, some are going to go out for a max profit. Some aren't.
Yep.
We have to, some of this we won't know until we see it in practice. And that sucks, but we don't know. Like, yeah, around graduations and around football games and around, you know, March Madness, yeah. they're
that
going to be more
super peak
expensive.
idea that came out was like, again, the whole no, we're not supposed to trust
No,
private equity and REITs. That's just that they're the ones who get to dictate the price.
not every hotel is owned by private equity. Like,
No, but most are.
I
No,
understand
I'm
that,
sorry.
Matt. But like, there is going to be like, they still need people to stay in their hotels, right? Like, private equity sucks, but if nobody stays in their hotel, they're going to bring the price down because they need people to stay there.
Yeah. And this is why we need to ban private equity.
Like, I'm fine with that, but like, they still want people to use their services.
Yep.
This is not like corporate landlords where you get a tax break for it.
So no, we're not supposed to trust them, but like they're also the same entities that drive Marriott prices, that drive Hilton prices, that drive IHG. Like it's all the same playing field. Hyatt wasn't special because their private equity owners of their hotels were significantly better than Marriott or Hilton's. No, Sir's King, it would have happened regardless. Plus, there's a vast gray market out there to just buy status.
Yeah. Don't buy status in a program you heavily rely on, though. That would be my advice, unless they're like offering it, like IHG will offer if you buy X number of points, they'll give you a certain status. Hilton will do something kind of sort of similar. That is different, but there are websites out there with more gray market thing. Like, I would never buy it in IHG, right? Because if my IHG account now gets nerfed and I'm blacklisted from the program, I am in a world of hurt.
Yep.
Might buy it in Marriott though. Not that I want it, but that would be a program that if I just couldn't be in the rewards program, I would still be fine.
I'm just going to redeem Marriott stay. Like, my ideal would be to redeem Marriott stays through Rove and guarantee 1.5 cents per point.
Yeah. And for you, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't want another portal. Like, I just want the portals I'm in to get better.
Well, the Chase portal will get better, and Rove will get better.
Chase portal.
Yeah.
I want the ones I'm in to get better, Matt, not the ones you're in.
Well, yours gives you MQDs all the time, so you're fine.
Mine does. I just got my MQDs from January. It was great. Matt, what do you think about the Amex ANA issue?
Run. Because I can't foresee this being good. Yeah, so Amex suddenly paused their transfers to ANA today. Kind of no notice until everybody started to notice. And then they said it was for simple maintenance, and then it'll be back up and running on March 2nd. I think we're going to see a devaluation, and probably 5 to 4 would be the easiest because that's what seems to be their default now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the only one-to-one transfer partner left at the end of the year would be Delta.
On the airline side, yeah.
Yeah. Like, 1, they can get away with it. 2, like, they've already acquiesced to Emirates. They've already acquiesced to Cathay. Who's to say that they wouldn't acquiesce immediately to ANA?
How much of this is on the airlines, though? Like, I doubt Amex is like going to them and being like, "Hey, can we Amex?" Doesn't strike me as the group that's going to be the one proactively going there.
I don't think Amex is proactively going there. Emirates was Emirates, right? Cathay, I think, was a question of, hey, Emirates just did this. Let's see if we can get Amex to do the same. And Amex said yes. I don't know if this is maybe ANA trying the same thing, because they all get to be in this nice little position where like ANA gets to be in this nice little position where I think they're the only company that like where MR is the only company that transfers to them. So they get to dictate, they can dictate like, hey, make it 5-4 because too many people are transferring to us for cheap United flights. And we don't want any Star Alliance problems, or we'll just pull out of the program.
Yeah, I also think like this is a downstream effect of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like these companies see what people are doing and they're making those changes and they're just hurting a bunch of people.
Like Amex can mask a lot of their a lot of their perceived problems, or Amex can mask a lot of the changes that they can get away with by just pointing the magic potato gun of points at people. And like, here's a 300,000 point no life language offer. And people are going to take it and not think of the ramifications. Like there's downstream effects of them just pointing the potato gun and everyone gladly lapping it up.
I meant those were not the shenanigans I meant.
Oh, no, I know.
I think Amex pointing, like giving no, like that I think is fine. That I do not think is the actual problem. I also
Aeroplane
think like
had to make changes on their end to like not worry about it as much. So I don't think it's going to be as big a deal because you can't use miles that came in from Amex with Aeroplan to pay yourself back. Like they cut that ability not too long ago. Sorry.
I also think if you're Delta, like you're just like, oh darn, huh? We're the only 1-to-1, huh? Terrible.
Must be nice, but they have the excise tax anyway, so
it's $100 at most. It's fine. I have never once had a problem paying it.
As soon as there's a dollar cost associated with it, a lot of people jump.
I understand why. I've never like the max is $100. I've never once been like, oh, I can't move these points because like that's not something that bothers me.
If the Islanders could score one more goal in the next 5 minutes, that would be nice.
So Matt, we've come to your favorite topic.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Capital One now. Would you like to explain to the people what is happening with Capital One and Discover? I believe this is a rumor still.
So it's more than a rumor. Capital One put up new benefits guides on the Discover network for Venture, Venture One, Saver, Saver One, Quicksilver, Quicksilver One. They just put up the guide benefits.
Everything.
Most of their credit cards.
Everything but the co-brands in the Venture X.
And the business cards.
I don't think about Capital One business cards, but yes. I forget they have them.
Yeah.
And most of our audience does as well.
You'd be surprised. No,
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. So Capital One hasn't even announced anything yet. Like all it was that a website got updated with some PDFs. They're not explaining anything. They're not launching anything. They're not transitioning anything. They haven't announced anything. And the first thing that's being done is, oh my God, Capital One is ruining your points and miles. No, they aren't. All they did was put up guide benefits. You don't know that your card will be grandfathered in for as long as, you hold the account that you're going to have your saver be a MasterCard. Like eventually they'll turn that saver into potentially a Discover network card. But like the thought is immediately, oh my God, Capital One's ruining everything. Capital One hasn't announced a damn thing. Like, I don't like being in the position where I am, where I'm like being the contrarian to the prevailing wisdom out there that's getting thousands of views needlessly because, click. Like, they didn't do anything. And selling it as they're doing things is arbitrary and stupid. But great job getting your views.
Matt, Deep breath.
They
Be
didn't
okay.
do anything. Like,
I understand.
we
Deep
don't know what a
breath.
transition process looks like. We don't know if this is going to be for new users. We don't know, when, if, or how, because if you hold a Venture X and you downgrade your Venture X to a Venture, it stays a Visa. If you
It
have
does.
your Venture X
Can confirm.
and downgrade it to a Venture One, it stays a Visa. It's only new cards. When they transitioned networks, it was only new cards that were getting transitioned, or they were making the full card lineup transition over. But if you have a Venture X and you downgrade it to a Venture, it stays a Visa. If you apply for a new Venture, it's a MasterCard. If you apply for a new Venture One, it's a MasterCard. There's nothing that is changing right now, and we don't even know what the rules will be. And this is far too early. Yeah, they did transition all the debit cards, but like the debit cards make a certain amount of sense. Transitioning the credit cards right now doesn't, unless they're
I
doing.
disagree. I think they're picking the cards that have foreign transaction fees, so less likely to be used out of the country.
None of their
And
cards have foreign transaction fees.
okay, I take that back. They still know where their cards are being used. They're picking cards
Yes.
that are less likely to be used outside of the country, which is a weak spot for Discover.
Yep.
I agree that nothing has happened yet, but I don't agree that it's premature to think this is coming sooner rather than later.
No, I don't think it's premature to think. So my rationale on this was maybe it's for the fair credit, good credit crowd, like that level of card, because each of the cards mentioned, the Venture One, the Quicksilver, and the Venture One, the Quicksilver One, and the Saver One, all would make sense to put on the Discover network now to start leveraging those fees and start getting the folks who aren't playing the credit card game and are super subprime borrowers, getting them to make their purchases and pay their late fees and pay their interest to subsidize building out the network, the Discover network, so that when they move the Venture X over in a couple of years, that it was bought and paid for by the schlubs who don't know how to pay their credits. Like, that is how the Capital One would be operating it. And do I think it's too early for that? Maybe not. But like the Venture and Saver, the top end ones that give you the welcome offers, that give you all the like treats of having the card, they're really no different than the card, because unless Capital One says that it's different. Like, travelers who rely on the Capital One Duo aren't going to be paying aren't going to be bearing the brunt of the cost to build out the Discover network internationally.
No.
It's going to be the people who don't travel who are going to be bearing the brunt of that. And that is devious, borderline evil, potentially. You know what? I'll call it an ethical gray area.
I think that's fair.
It's an ethical gray area that Capital One can exploit. And as long as you don't touch my precious Capital One Duo and you don't touch my precious Capital One Miles, and how dare you change my travel habits, as long as they're not doing that explicitly, I don't think most people will care. Because this is eventually going to happen.
I mean, I think eventually they're going to want all of the cards on. I think the Venture X is just going to take the longest to get there. Yeah, I think this is more than nothing. I think there is smoke here.
Oh no, there's very definitely.
But sorry. I don't think you can tear people down for making videos about it. Like, this is a thing. Like, them updating it on our website matters. Like, it does.
Sure. And then not hiding the website can definitely matter. And yeah, I'll concede that.
I think the tone of some of the videos I had a problem with. And I'm not saying every video is great, but I don't think you can slam other creators for making a video talking about a thing when you were the guy that talks about things. They won,
Sorry, they tied it up. No, they tied it up.
Ah.
There's a minute.
But you get
1 second left in the third. Sorry.
You get my point, though. Like, you are the guy that talks news. You were the guy that does Speculation Station. At
Yeah.
some point, you have to concede that rumors and speculation are a thing that should be talked about. Again, I think you talk about these things in a more measured tone than most do. I appreciate that. That's why I watch your videos. But I think you can say people are going too far with it. People are not understanding what's going on and not slam them for making videos.
It's more, please use your brain.
That I agree with. That I absolutely agree with.
And
But
it's not even, John, I haven't seen your video yet, and I'm sorry, but like a couple of the videos, like a couple of the other videos, it was just like
work was very hard today, John. I haven't seen anybody's video in like 3 days. I
yeah.
will watch your video, I promise.
But to just say, oh, Capital One is ruining your points and miles. No, they aren't. Like, I don't even think they're touching most of the points and miles that you have. They're going to throw most of the costs onto their poor customers. And again, they haven't even come out and said anything about any of this.
But I think there is something here, and I don't think it's premature to say if this happens in the way we think it's going to happen, it is going to change things for people who rely on these cards.
Yes. Oh, sure, Vizio, thanks for the $5 super chat. Wanted to say Choice better than Hyatt.
They're different.
Certainly a stance, for sure.
If you're in Scandinavia, yes.
Oh, for sure. Strawberry Hotels kick the crap out of Hyatt options in Scandinavia, for sure. But I don't know. Anyway, the Cambria versus the Dreams, we'll see. With delinquent balances and previous agreements with Discover, it's all over it. Yeah, like they're ruthless. They're going to be ruthless for sure. And like there were a couple of rounds of layoffs with Discover staff not too long ago. Like one of the first things that they were going to start doing was reducing headcount, reducing redundancy. Like I think they should have been firing their customer service staff and replacing it with Discover's customer service staff, because Discover's customer service staff is more well regarded than Capital One's. But they're going to do what they're going to do. Like in no way do I think that like Capital One is going to be approaching this with whimsy and joy in their hearts. No, they're out to make money. They're out to eventually take on American Express. It's a long road to take on American Express, but they bought Discover to institute the closed loop system that works so well for American Express. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's going to be the plan. And they also bought Discover as a potential like, oh, well, if Dodd-Frank ever, not Dodd-Frank, geez. If Durbin Marshall ever becomes a bill, like we can make some serious money off of this by being that second issuer that gets pushed onto MasterCard and Visas, that like other banks will pay us to license out our secondary network in the event that this bill passes. That bill's dead as a doornail right now. That bill's not passing anytime soon. But they also bought Discover with the primary motivation to have a closed loop system.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yes, they're going to get there, but like pushing it now, yes, there's almost certainly fire there now. I don't think that pushing it now is a good business decision for them. It's not going to stop them, obviously, but and like pushing it onto their super subprime borrowers is also not going to be good, because yeah, they're going to make you some money here and there, and they're going to make you a lot of money, but it's kind of rough.
That's apples and keyboards. Like they have nothing to do with each other. One is a payment network. The other is taking over issuing a credit card.
Yeah. Apple also is keeping the Apple Pay network. Like Apple keeps the Apple Payment Network. Chase isn't buying the Apple Pay network. Chase doesn't get any of that. Apple gets their own cut of of interchange fees with everything.
Apple gets a cut of something?
Oh, Apple's made so much money on Apple Pay. It's not even funny. But Chase isn't getting any of that. Chase maybe getting their subprime borrowers, but Chase will shred them very quickly. Chase doesn't have a closed loop system.
They do not own Visa or MasterCard.
Yeah. To get further exposure of Discover Network as it is, what would Cap One do first?
I do think Matt's right. They're going to push it on to the good credit or the blank one cards.
Yeah. Like those cards being moved over first, I would buy. I wouldn't buy that the, excellent credit saver folks are going to get pushed over to Discover anytime soon.
I also think like for most people, especially in the US, it doesn't actually matter that much. Again, it does in certain circumstances, but if it's your only card.
Yeah, and again, they have like 90+% acceptance in the United States.
Yeah. So I don't actually think it's that big a deal, again, most of the time for most people in the United States.
Yeah.
That would be very funny. I would laugh.
Bringing that card out would and they're still negotiating with MasterCard. That's the funnier thing. Like they're renegotiating with MasterCard to get like better rate, to get like a better cut of the interchange fee. And are you going to dump all your MasterCards onto Discover? No.
I'm waiting for the American Express Platinum on the MasterCard network.
I mean, and that whole idea with Durbin Marshall and like Capital One trying to make a play with that, they were only going to get like crappy banks anyway. Chase would have just called up American Express. Hey, do us a solid.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine Chase cards all issued on American Express?
Oh, I could imagine them all issued with the American Express as the secondary network for sure.
Also, it's very funny that like Apple and Samsung are the Chase and Amex of the credit card world, and I kind of love that. They are what they are, Keith. I don't think they're particularly exciting now.
No.
That's why I said in the United States.
Yeah. I don't think that it's going to be that big a deal. If they're just because it said saver does not mean that it's going to be the saver for excellent credit crowd, because Capital One is the Baskin Robbins of credit card issuers, where there's 31 flavors of everything. Like there's the Venture X, the Venture One, the Venture for good credit, the Venture One for good credit, the Venture One for fair credit, the Saver One, the Saver One for good credit, the Saver One for fair credit, the Quicksilver One for fair. You see what I'm getting at? Like it's those lower tier cards that are most likely going over.
And if you want something that simple, I think it works fine. I'm not saying they're bad necessarily. I'm just saying they're not particularly exciting.
Yeah. They're as exciting as a wet rag.
My new gold card, however, is fascinating. I went through Dunkin' Donuts today.
Of course you did.
I had a dentist appointment. I deserved a sweet treat after. I don't actually put sugar in anything that I drink from Dunkin', but still.
Yeah.
Yes, they're much more profitable.
Yeah. That's why you're not going to see the Discover It pool into
Capital
pool
One.
into the other cards with the other Capital One cards anytime soon.
Though,
like they're all going to move onto the Discover network before you can pool the points, the cash back with that over to points.
I mean, with the Chase has the flex and it works just fine.
Yeah, no, they could flip the switch at any point for sure. I just don't think that they're going to do that before they're ready to do that. Although I didn't think that they were going to start rushing to move these cards over to the Discover Network as quickly as they are, because I don't know, someone over there doesn't think. They're not very good over there.
No. They would be near they are at the bottom of my list right now. Capital One, US Bank, and Built are all near the bottom for very different reasons.
They are the Steinbeck Jr. of credit card issuers.
Yeah. I have never been to a Baskin Robbins, so I can't tell you.
They're owned by the same company. Yes, it works.
I go to Stewart's if I want ice cream, or a local shop, because a lot of farms have ice cream stands now.
Oh, they've also been divesting those stores because a lot of Dunkins were Dunkin' Baskin Robbins, and they've stopped doing that.
Yeah. I've never been to one. I'm talking about legitimate issuers. Like Built and Credit One are not even in the same stratosphere, and I'm very unhappy with Built at the moment.
Yeah.
But they're not Credit One.
Eventually they're going to get all of their cards over into their blue bubbles that they control, but they're going to be fine with a lot of it. Yeah, I saw that they were extending this Built concierge thing to close friends.
I've applied to be a close friend. I want them to let me be a close friend, Matt.
Oh, I applied to be a close friend, but my response was, "We heard you talking shit." And so I stay with my results pending.
Again, I don't think it's not a deval. It's not. I think we use words and they should have meanings.
I'm reserving judgment just because I think Chase has a lot of irons in the fire that we don't know about right now.
What irons do you think that might be in their fire?
Adding all Hyatts into the Chase travel portal for booking with Hyatt benefits associated with them, the way that they have all IHGs in the travel portal now. Having a new World of Hyatt card, at least one new World of Hyatt card, probably 2, potentially 3. I think they've got a couple other things with points boost in the works. I think that they've got the Sapphire Preferred refresh sitting in the works. I think they've got a number of things that they're going to do. Also, somebody asked earlier what I think the Hyatt 75K spend opportunities would be. I would assume Explorers for the next year or 2, and some sort of Hyatt benefit in the Chase travel portal.
I could see that. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as any of us would like it to be.
Yeah. Yes, they are moving the Discover It, what do you call it? Management into the Capital One app. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Then you can get rid of and they're going to discontinue the Discover app when that happens.
Yes, also that.
Yeah, the new a new premium Hyatt card will heal all wounds. The more leverage they'll have to make coverage deals outside the United States. Yeah, there's also that for sure. And I get why they're doing that, but
I'm very interested to see how the Aviator into City goes.
It's going to be a mess.
I mean, I'm sure it will be. I'm looking forward to product changing it to something else.
You've got 2 antiquated technology banks talking about moving their cards between each other. It's not going to be great.
What card should I product change my Aviator Red to, Matt?
You said you're going to do the AT&T card. Just do that.
That is my working plan at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do they have? I could always get the Goodyear card.
Why?
They have a Wayfair credit card?
Yes.
Why?
I
don't need the
because
Home Depot card.
People need furniture cheapishly. Also, my best friend works for Wayfair now. I don't know.
Wonder if I could Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was about to say that to this. There will be cases where it will be. There will be cases where it won't be. It's going to depend on the level of hotel, but you still will be able to earn point. Like Chase allows, if Chase gets all Hyatt bookings in the travel portal to be World of Hyatt eligible across the board, your Sapphire Reserve will earn 8 times Hyatt points on every booking. You'll earn your qualifying points and your base points with Hyatt as well for the booking. Your status will be reflected, and you can transfer those 8 points per dollar over to Hyatt. Like the Sapphire Reserve becomes the best earning Hyatt card for booking Hyatts.
I'm actually really interested in this because there's no way Apple gets rid of the wallet app with
No,
the Apple Card.
they're going to get a carve out from Chase for sure.
I genuinely wonder if it's going to be in the Chase app at all.
No.
Like, I could see it just simply staying where it is.
I think there'll be some interactions between the two. And I think you'll be able to just manage I think they'll actually allow for you to manage your Chase cards in the Apple Wallet, potentially.
They could.
Which
That
would
would be
be
interesting.
nice.
I don't think the Apple Card is going to be in the Chase app, though.
Yep. No, it's going to be. I've noticed that you can have your IHG eligibility at all IHGs. I've looked at the Holiday Inn Express like half a mile from my house. You do have to make sure that you are putting your IHG number in at the time of booking. And it's not just for the IHG credit. It's you have to make sure that there is a portion of it where you have to make sure that you attach your loyalty number. And you can attach your loyalty number afterwards, I think. But you have to make sure that you attach your loyalty number and in the portal, and you'll have everything reflected regardless of what IHG it is. It doesn't matter if it's a Kimpton in the edit. It doesn't matter if it's a Holiday Inn Express at the edit. No, or a Holiday Inn Express. There's no Holiday Inn Expresses in the edit. That's silly. It doesn't matter if it's a Holiday Inn. Doesn't matter if it's a Hotel Indigo, a Voco. If it is a IHG property in the Chase Travel Portal, all of them are IHG 1 eligible across the board. And I think Chase's new strategy will be getting as many hotel partners to agree to let them do that across the board.
I mean, that would be a super helpful thing. I mean, Amex does it with FHR.
Right. And they will do it for the hotel collection for like those sorts of stays that you book through that. But typical Amex travel, nope.
No, I'm aware. But what I mean is that's not a hard thing for them to turn on. If Chase does it, Amex will eventually do it because they're going to have to.
Potentially, sure. Yeah. I'm not trying to like say no, it won't happen. Like Amex will respond in kind, but and Amex will have Marriott and Hilton, so they're going to have tens of thousands of rooms available for that from jump. Yeah. But like Chase is doing it with IHG. I can imagine Chase is going to do it with Hyatt. I would imagine Chase will do it with Wyndham now as their new hotel partner. I don't know what's going to happen with Marriott.
I don't think they're going to do it with Marriott.
I don't think they would either. It would be interesting if they did, but if they added other hotel like there's plenty of other programs out there as well to earn points into. Like they could add Omni. Like they've got most of Omni anyway, because most of Omni qualifies for the edit. Oh, James with the important question. Any new Anchor products?
I have them all. I have so many, like my tech bag of the tech in it, and there's a lot of tech in my bag. 90% of it is Anchor, and the other 10% is like a Thunderbolt 4 cord that I got like via Apple, or my like Apple charger that came with my MacBook Pro. Like I have almost exclusively Anchor products. I have the one that sits on my desk and has the 2 cords that come out that are retractable. I have one in my office. I have one in my bedroom. Like I use that thing every day. I've got the chargers that I put my phone on. Like I have all of it. I don't have anything new to buy. Like I have it all. I have the one that's a battery bank that also plugs into the wall that I put my phone charger on when I'm in hotels. So if the plug is loose at all, so it doesn't actually charge, it'll still charge off the battery. So my phone will charge overnight. Like
Mhm.
I have all those things. I love it.
Um, there you go. Hold on. I don't want the travel benefits. I want the travel portal. Hang on. Do. Nope.
When did you book Sleepy Rod? Oh, I can't log in because I want to use my phone, and my phone is currently my camera.
Never fun. Okay. Let's explore travel. Okay, so I want to do stays. I want to do. I'm just gonna go with Los Angeles. Sure. We'll do March 31st to
They
April
got
2nd.
Marriott points for Citizen M, booked through Chase Portal, but I had to call Marriott. That seems like more of a hack than like something that was meant to happen.
Citizen M before the acquisition had Citizen M eligible.
Okay.
So it's plausible that it's definitely possible that happened. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to filter all filters. Okay, so give me all intercontinental hotels. Show 34 results.
Yeah, and
Okay.
somebody just put in the thing that's showing their points for the stay at the Holiday Inn. Welcome bonus points and qualifying stay points.
Yeah. So what I got, share screen, Los Angeles. So I'm in my Chase Travel right now. So I'm not going to do the Kimpton. I'm going to do Holiday Inn Express, eligible for the 250 select hotel benefit and IHG1 rewards. So I'm putting in for this 2 nights. I don't even need to do the 2 nights, but whatever. Choose a room to get started. Let's choose this. Let's go add to trip. I don't want to use points. See hotels, browse options. Okay, so you know what?
You'd
Let me
want to
just
pay with
say
card.
I'm just gonna pay with my
Yeah.
card. Start checkout. And then you want to make sure your traveler profile. Yep, you got your traveler profile, hotel loyalty number, chain. And you come down to where is it? IHG1 rewards. Make sure that you do that before you hit payment and review. But we're going to close that now because that's far too much of my information. But yeah, no, that should work across the board, like regardless. Like, and that was showing the select hotel credit because I haven't used the select hotel credit yet. I plan on using that at a Kimpton. But you can. It doesn't matter what level IHG it is. Like I picked that was a Holiday Inn Express. Doesn't matter where it is, what it is. They're all in there in Chase Travel, and they're all eligible on Chase Travel.
Yeah. I agree. Anything else you'd like to talk about this week, Matt?
No. I mean, I expressed my disappointment in folks getting a little carried away. Last month, full context, booked a Holiday Inn Express, placed my loyalty number when prompted in the Chase portal. IHG app did not update with my stay. Hotel staff only saw it was as third party.
It's going to be third party, though.
Well, I mean, the next time you may have to contact Chase if you don't see it prompt immediately. It should prompt almost immediately. It absolutely should.
I don't get points for it, but when I book Hilton through Delta, I can add it immediately to it with Hilton. It's super easy.
Yeah, and with that, they'll like give you your bottles of water and stuff like that.
I can also I checked in this morning for tomorrow. Like it was great.
Oh, it popped in your app.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
nice.
put it in the app. It doesn't auto-populate. All I have to do is just put add stay. It gives me the itinerary number. I toss it in there. But it treats it like I booked it through the app. I just don't get points for it. That's great.
Yeah. No, definitely. If you don't see that pop next time, call Chase Travel.
Yeah.
Because when you add that in at the time of booking, it should populate almost immediately. I have to go in and like update my traveler profile and include all of the new hotels that I signed up for in recent months.
Probably
Like
a good
GHA.
idea. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. If that's all you have, and that's all I have,
Oh,
I think yes.
Monday morning, my channel will have something dropping. Y'all want to be on the lookout for that.
Matt's actually going to be the new CEO of Amex.
Yes. Steve called me a couple of days ago. He's tired. He wants to go run Built.
Later. Say goodnight, Matt.
Night, Matt. Night, RJ. Night, all.
Night, guys. See you next week. Or actually, see you all Monday. I expect each and every one of you there on Monday.
Monday at 8:30.
Bye, guys.